You want to upgrade your Rallycross cars in the Crew 2 because you cannot upgrade your social life. Sadly relatable. Well, luckily today you've come to the right place, because today we're going to go ahead and kind of show you guys a guide to upgrading Rallycross cars in this game. This is kind of the next class that I've targeted to upgrade and stuff. I've done my touring cars and I've done my street cars, and now I'm trying to do my Rallycross cars. Obviously on the way I've learnt numerous things, and that is kind of what we're going to go into today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into today's video. So as you can see, I have my Focus RS RX, and I also have my Lancia Rally 0307. I just said 0307. That doesn't make any sense. Don't use this car. It's not very good. I'm pretty sure this is rear wheel drive. At least it feels that way. It's not very good. Pick something a bit more modern if you want to do well. That's if you're going for times and stuff. But anyway, as you can see, my my Focus, that's the one that I'm focusing on upgrading on. You can see some of the parts are slowly getting to max level now. But obviously I've learned a few things on the way, and that's what we're going to go ahead and talk about today. I do have one little tip before we go ahead and talk about what the best races are to do. Until you get to max rank, make sure that all your icon points are into increased loot drops. It doesn't really matter if you get pink drops, you know, while you're upgrading to 230, because you're going to probably scrap the parts that aren't 230 pink parts anyway. So my advice would be to aim for lots of loot, not good loot, until you hit the max level, just because, like I said, you're gonna get rid of the loot, you know, that isn't max rank once you hit max rank. So put all your points in there. Make sure your loadout is more orientated around getting more loot instead of better loot, just because it makes your life a whole lot easier. If you get 4 green parts, which are higher than the parts you currently have, that's going to be better than getting 2 pink parts, which are higher than what you currently have, because in the end of the day, you're gonna scrap those pink parts anyway. Oh my god, you haven't even talked about what's in the title of the video yet. Clickbait. Whoa, calm down. So you want to know what the best events are to do, you know, in terms of like grinding and getting parts and stuff. Now, as you can see, I've done all the events on hard and normal for that matter, and the best one to do is this Central Valley event. You can see the world record is the lowest, and it tends to be that case, you know, when you're driving around this normally. It's not just the best people in the world doing this the fastest. This is genuinely the shortest track. I'm going to do it on hard. I wouldn't recommend doing it on hard if you're in quite a lower car, but once you get to around 195 in PPI, then go ahead and try this on hard. You're obviously going to get a bit more money, but you don't necessarily need to, because like I said, the rarity of the loot doesn't matter until you've maxed out the car. Now, I'm going to go ahead and, you know, obviously race this. You might learn a few things about lines I take, which you might not take, because I've done this race a lot of times, and we're going to go ahead and share some wisdom, you know, sprinkle it on your forehead. Oh, all right then. Looks like the ground surface is wet. Just like my pussy. Right, so here we go. So this is the event itself. There's nothing really much to say about this. For those people that have, you know, been playing the Crew since launch, you'll probably already know about this. You know, you've probably done this race a few times. All I can really say is just like skip this one corner. That's the only tip I can give for this race, is this corner here. If you aim for the kind of Joker barrier, start braking at the Joker barrier and then turn in. It just makes your life a whole lot easier. Like, you know, you'll easily get away from the AI. That's the only tip I have for the race itself. Other than that, just keep on sliding. Get dirty. Dirty. I've only used a handful. Oh my lord. Flick. I've only used a handful of Rallycross cars, the Focus obviously being one, the Lancia being one. I've used the C3 as well, which is supposedly one of the best in the game. I don't really have any tips for it. Just drive it like it's a Rallycross car. Useful tips. Look, absolutely nowhere to be seen. The AI have been smoked. And I'm also I keep on noticing that Joker barrier is like rebuilding every time we go along. They've got some mad staff maintenance on the go right now. You know, some little man just replacing the Joker sign because we fucking destroyed it. And across the line. So that took like what, like a minute and a half, pretty much. Let's see what loot we get now. Hey, we got a pink part and a blue part. Now, obviously, my loadout is currently kind of laid out more towards max out parts. But, you know, obviously, it's random. It's RNG based. So, the likelihood of you getting 4 parts instead of 2 is still relatively low. And I actually haven't even got many parts on this that are actually related around increasing the loot. But we got a pink part and a blue part, so I guess it's alright. I've actually been getting a lot more pink parts recently. Not sure why that is the case, but it's just a thing I've noticed. And as you can see, I'm at 207 right now. So if you probably gave me, I reckon, another hour probably, I could probably max out this car to max. Another little tip I've got, I'm not sure if this actually makes a difference, but I tend to only have 3 parts in my loadout at once, just because I found that the loot tends to be more kind of specific depending on obviously what part you have. So what I'll do is I'll only tend to have 3 parts at once in my loadout, just because like otherwise it gets clogged up. If you have too much loot in there, some of it gets taken back to the loot box HQ and or the mailbox in the HQ, and it gets a lot very messy. If I can give one tip to you guys, just clean up the shits, because you know, it just makes sense. And then for those that are interested, these are my pro settings that I'm using right now. I have my ABS on half because I'm a fucking weirdo. And then everything else I think is pretty much the same. It's only the universal upgrades. But that's like pretty much it for today's video on Rallycross cars. Rallycross is one of my favorite modes in this game. If I can go ahead and scroll along, you'll see that my pink 911 is out here. That's been fully upgraded. I also did buy a Hurricane just to see what it's like, and I can confirm the Hurricane is fucking ridiculous. I'm quite close to my drifting car, and my touring car I'm pretty sure is like 2 away from maxed out. Yeah, 4 away from maxed out on my F40, so I might do that video next. But my Rallycross car is one that I've kind of spent more time on recently, and it's only up until recently I've realised how fun this mode is, and it's one of those modes that when PvP comes out, I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Rallycross because it's fucking fun. Now, with that being said, relatively short video, don't want to ramble on for too much longer. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe and peace.